Hey all, Jafafa the Killer here. Wow, so we're pretty much here at the end of this story. I just want to thank all of you for listening through my videos. I'll definitely continue to make more soon. Although I might take quite some time as I'm about to start college soon again, so I'll do my best with that. Also, I have a few creepypasta stories of my own that I have recently written. I'll be uploading some of those soon, so stay tuned for that. On another note, for those of you who haven't noticed, I made a playlist for all of these Ticci Toby X Reader stories. It's titled Ticci Toby X Reader Love Hurts on my channel, so check that out if you haven't. Anyway, let's get to the end of the story.
Then, what am I thinking now? There was a moment of silence as she studied his mask hard, her cloudy eyes locking on his figure before a small smile forms. You pray to your daughter's ghost, praying that she forgives you. Jack whimpers and yells loudly, swinging and punching the wall rather hard, causing a large fist-shaped hole in the wall, panting heavily. Jack? I mutter, asking if he was okay. He snarls, snapping his head in my direction, before storming over to me, grabbing the collar of my shirt and yanking me forward.
What trickery is this, huh? You think this is funny?
I was surprised and completely speechless. Had Mel gotten it wrong? No, she couldn't have. She always gets it right, down to the very last word. Jack? Though, as his anger starts to calm, his frustrated breathing turns into what seems to be the cries of regret.
How did she know? How is it possible?
Jack, look at where we are. What your lover was, as a shapeshifter.
She became a shapeshifter because of me. I did that to her. But this wasn't just given to Mel. How is it possible?
Jack throws me back, slumping to the floor. He was one of Slender's best murderers. I had never seen him so vulnerable, so fragile. I watch as he sighs, checking over his shoulder to look at Mel, as her head hangs down. She had lost all energy to hold it up anymore. A low hissing sound erupts from Jack as he stands to his feet.
All right, I can unlock your chains, but not Mel's. When the others return, I will help you take them down. Do you understand?
His tone had completely changed. It was no longer shaky and full of sorrow. Instead, it was stern and menacing, bad enough to send shivers down my spine. I scrunched my face into a sly grin and nodded with approval. Jack returns the nod and begins to unlock my chains. Jack finished removing my chains, and just in time. As soon as the last chain was unlocked, Painter and LJ began to enter the room, but luckily, Jack managed to rush to Mel's side to hide suspicion. I remained still to give the illusion that I was still caught in the chains, watching them with hatred in my eyes as they chuckled together, making their way over to the weak Mel and deceiving Jack. Reader's point of view.
Well, look at you. You look like a worn-out rag. Not enough energy in you to last the fun.
LJ frowns, tapping his long claw-like fingers against his sharp fangs. The two exchanged glances before turning to face EJ. LJ had an evil grin, though Painter's expression was undetermined due to the mask.
Jack, do us a favor. Go get a shot of adrenaline, would you?
Painter asks with a sweet and innocent tone, like a mother talking to her daughter. It was so fake, it made me sick. Jack's head turns towards me, but he sighs, nodding and walking towards the door, shooting a glance in Toby's direction before leaving the room. So, LJ and I have been talking about what games we should play with you, and we decided on 2. But we can't come to a decision on which to do, so we're gonna let you choose. Painter chuckles as he pulls out 2 objects from his pocket. One was a card with a face on it, and the other was a card with a hand on it. Here's a fun game for you to start it off to help choose. Would you rather that LJ bites you to death, or that LJ slices you? I glare at them through my fallen hair strands as my eyes blink blankly, giving the eye of disapproval. I had gained enough energy to talk, but that was it. If I were to escape, I wouldn't get far at all. I picked C, none of the above. Painter laughs in a sarcastic tone, folding his arms, clearly not amused by my answer, though LJ grinds his teeth, snarling with irritation. LJ opens his mouth to speak, but EJ returns in the room, holding a syringe. As he walks over, Toby must have whispered something as Jack turns his glance towards him, shaking his head. This way, Painter and LJ would be fooled as they watched him come in. But what they didn't see, when Jack shook his head, I moved my gaze to his hands, and so did Toby. He scrunched in his fingers and gave a thumbs up, to say all was still going ahead to escape. Okay then, Jack, do your thing. Painter chuckles, gesturing his arms out towards me. I found out his movements. Come on, think something. Anything to freak you out, you little fucker. Sadly, neither of them thought anything, but that didn't mean I couldn't pretend, just to waste time to allow Toby to move. I suggest you have soup. Warms my heart. I sneer at them, watching as their bodies flinch. Painter takes an extra step towards me, grabbing my chain, forcing my head up to look at him, blocking Jack's path to get to me to inject me. What did you say? I said, have some soup. I say slowly and clearly, as if to spell it out for him, spitting a little when pronouncing the P. I don't understand, he questions, though I do not answer. Instead, I shoot a glance over to Toby, to which he notices and begins to slowly tiptoe out of his spot. Jack notices and begins to cause a distraction from LJ to make sure he doesn't turn around, though I realized that he didn't have a weapon, to which he also realized. However, he used what he could get and picked up a shard of broken glass that was for some reason laying around. He begins to creep his way towards LJ's back, but before he reaches him, Painter speaks. Well, 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 look who's free from his chains. I was shocked. He remained facing me, still holding my chin, so how the hell did he know that Toby was free? Shoving my head back, he turns to face Toby, and so does LJ. The fact that they both focused on Toby gave EJ the chance to quietly try and remove my chains. EJ had managed to remove my chains without causing suspicion, but I stayed put to not distract Toby from his stance. I watch as he stands defensive towards LJ and Painter as they chuckle down at him, EJ remaining by my side, behind the others.
So, what do you plan to do with that, Rogers? Kill us?
LJ laughs as he points to the shard of glass Toby held tightly in his hand. As the three bicker together, I whisper over to EJ, telling him to use the adrenaline on me so I can help Toby, but he shakes his head, whispering back to me, This isn't adrenaline. I filled it with acid to use on one of them. He gestures, tilting his head towards Painter and LJ. So, what are you waiting for? Use it now. I can't. They're both too alert. He sighs, turning away from me, just in time as Painter turns, calling Jack over. EJ, come and sort him out, will you? Why can't you? Because I'm asking you. Painter's words were blunt and sharp, almost piercing and demanding. EJ sighs, nodding his head a little, walking in front of Toby, blocking all of our views so that we could only see Jack's back. Toby, give me the glass. There was silence. I couldn't hear what was being said, but it was clear some sort of communication was happening due to the head movements and gestures.
What's taking so long? Just take the damn glass.
OJ growls as he takes a step forward. As this happened, I instantly knew what was going to happen next. Their whole silence thing was a plan. Here, LJ, why don't you have it? EJ yells as he turns and swings the glass shard. It slices in a perfect line across his eyes, causing an instant blindness and pain as he falls to the floor in agony, clutching his face. A loud growl erupts from Painter as he glares at EJ and Toby.
You little fuck! How dare you betray me, Jack?
I couldn't let them get hurt, and I couldn't keep standing around feeling weak. With all the strength I had left, I pounced onto Painter's back, wrapping my arms tightly around his head and neck as I yank his head back harshly, squeezing his waist with my legs as they too wrap around him. He groans and stumbles back, swinging and lashing his hands behind him at his back, trying to get me off of him. But every time he tries, I just grip harder, squeezing his neck and ribs as much as I could with the energy I had. He begins to gasp for air, but my muscles grew weak, so he eventually managed to grab me and throw me over his head. My body collided with the hard floor with a thud, causing a loud gasp to spit out of my throat. Toby rushes to my side, EJ standing tall over as he watches the other two. LJ remains in pain as his bleeding sockets and blindness corrodes his body. Painter gasping and growling as he pants in our direction. EJ, what the fuck are you doing? Let me guess. They talked you into helping them.
That's none of your...
Aw, don't tell me. Poor Jackie had his backstory brought up and he thought over his little sad memories. You're a killer, for fuck's sake.
That's not the point.
What is the point, Jack? They remind you of how you butchered your daughter? Jack's growl grew and grew, but as soon as Painter mentioned his daughter, he snapped. He lunged forwards with the syringe and fought against him ruthlessly, punching and slashing his claws, desperately trying to inject Painter with the acid. But Painter began to overpower him, and LJ started to stagger to his feet. Toby, help EJ. I can handle LJ. Toby gave me a worried look. I knew what he was thinking. I was weak, but I needed to help. Are you sure? I'm sure. I interrupt him, causing him to let out a long sigh as if to already regret what was going to happen. But he soon nods and sends to his feet, rushing to where EJ and Painter fought. I watch as he goes, but instantly turn my attention to LJ, whose groans turned into an eerie chuckle. So, you think you can handle me? Jack may have ruined my eyes, but I can still hear. He cackles with a white-toothy grin as he creeps his way in my direction. Toby, Painter, and EJ's fight had somehow migrated across the room, so it was just me and LJ in the center, where his entire hearing was focused on me. Oh God, what am I going to do? I keep a close watch on LJ as he begins to circle around, listening with his evil expression and sockets filled with blood. But my attention is suddenly grabbed when I hear a familiar whine of pain. It was Toby. I look in his direction to see EJ staggering to his feet and Painter harshly punching Toby down. Watching this, I couldn't help but gasp. However, as soon as the breath of air left my body, I instantly let out a scream as I feel 5 sharp claws down my entire back, slashing deep within the flesh. Crying in pain, my body falls to the floor as I pant and wheeze for air. I can hear every breath you make, every step you take, every noise you create. LJ laughs menacingly as he pounces down, grabbing my hair and yanking me back. But due to my numb body, I also ended up rolling onto my back, causing my hair to twist and become even tighter. I couldn't help but scream and yell as blood spills from my spine and the tightening sensation on my skull got worse and worse. I felt my body be dragged down and thrown, only to make hard impact with the concrete wall, causing a gasp of pain to erupt from me. But that only allowed LJ to pinpoint where I had landed. As he stalks over me, I had to move, get away so I can be out of his senses. Crawling on the floor flat against my belly, I shift myself along weakly, going around LJ, who seemed to have not noticed I moved. However, I was wrong. As I continued forward, the harsh pressure of a foot against my back sent shooting agony all through me. The open wounds gushed with blood as more weight and force was applied. Did you think you were going to get away? Silly girl, you're not going. Hey, LJ! A voice interrupted him, a voice I didn't recognize. I look up best I can, watching as LJ turns around. What followed next was the squirting and spraying of blood from his throat as he gargles and falls to the floor, laying lifeless in a pool of his own blood. Someone had sliced deep across his neck. Looking over at my rescuer, I saw a guy with blonde hair, bloodshot eyes, and what appeared to be elf ears, standing over LJ's corpse, dressed all in green. He looked down at me and soon looks away, calling Toby's name. The last thing I hear and see before everything around me fades to darkness.
Hey, you! What's your name?
A sweet voice called to me. As I feel a hand tap on my shoulder, I left my head to see a girl with beautiful green eyes and short black hair. She smiled so cutely, even though she had gaps where her adult teeth haven't come through to replace her fallen out baby teeth. It was still a pretty smile.
Well, you gonna tell me?
she asks as she puts out her hand for me to take. I was only 6 at the time, as I sat alone in the school play area. The other children never really spoke to me much, so I wasn't sure what to say or even how to react to her. Would she be my friend? Mel? She gasped and smiled wide, grinning from ear to ear as she grabs my hand and yanks me to stand to my feet. That's a beautiful name. I'm Larissa. She cheers excitedly, rapidly shaking my hand up and down, causing my entire body to shake. I couldn't help but laugh, although this made her freeze and gasp again. Such a pretty laugh. Laugh again. I stared at her blankly. Laugh again? How was I meant to do that? She squints her eyes and giggles, giving me my hand a squeeze. It doesn't matter. You laugh again in your own time. Hey, you want to eat lunch with me later? She exclaimed, releasing my hand only to vigorously clasp hers together. She was so open and forward. I admired her confidence. She was the first ever person to be nice to me. Sure, I'd love to. Really? Yay! I can already tell we'll be great friends. Yeah, me too. I slowly peel open my eyes as the bright sunlight shines through an open window, trying my best to look at my surroundings. I was in a place I didn't recognize, in a bed belonging to who knows who. How did I even get here? And why was I here? What had happened? But suddenly, I remembered. I quickly sat up and screamed Toby's name, panting harshly as I tried to get out of bed, but sudden pain shot up my back, causing me to stay put. But as I tried to move, a door swung open, and Toby ran in, hurrying over to my bedside. Mel, you're finally awake. I was waiting by your side the entire time. I just popped out to use the bathroom. He mumbles the last part, scratching the back of his head awkwardly, but he soon noticed my confused expression as I slowly leaned back into the bed. You were out for so long. I was really worried. I raised my eyebrow to his words, even more so confused now than ever. How long had I been unconscious? Toby sighs, showing a concerned look. About a week. A week? I stood up in surprise, only to cause more aching to run through me. Groaning more, I slowly lay back down, Toby grabbing onto my hand, squeezing it. What happened to Painter? I saw him punching you down hard. I was so afraid for you. Don't worry. Painter and LJ have been taken care of. EJ is next door eating. And don't worry about me. I can't feel pain. All it did was knock the breath out of me. Toby admitted he couldn't feel pain, but I remember the day he turned psycho on me. He felt pain then. Maybe he was tortured and something happened to allow him to feel the pain for the moment. I wasn't 100% sure, and I couldn't exactly prove it. All I could do was accept Toby's words and block the horrible memory from my mind. Mel, there's something I wanted to ask you. He paused, waiting for my okay to say he could ask whatever it was. I give a small nod and he takes a deep breath in, exhaling deeply. Well, even though Jeff, Maskey, LJ, Painter, and Puppeteer are no longer a problem, Slender and other murderers loyal to him are still around. It's not safe for you here. So, what I was gonna ask was... No, I bluntly interrupt him, causing his eyes to shoot open. He opens his mouth to talk, but I speak before him. I'm not leaving you. I'm not leaving your side, Toby. He huffs with an amused smile, shaking his head with a small chuckle. You didn't let me finish. I was gonna ask if you will move away with me. My heart rate increased, and so did my body temperature. I got harder and harder, just by his simple question. Move? Move away? Yes, we can move further in the country. A brand new town, a new start, a new life. Just me and you. I feel tears begin to form in my eyes. The idea of a new fresh start with Toby sounded like such a good idea. It would be perfect. Moving away from the hatred, death, and bad memories. Forgetting the sorrowful past and creating an exciting future. So, what do you say? Yes! Yes! I cry as I lean forward in a hurry to hug him.
I don't care how much pain it caused me. I just wanted to hold him close. He instantly returns the embrace, holding me tightly. I love you, Toby. I continued to cry as I sobbed down his back, wrapping my arms around him even tighter. He chuckles, kissing my shoulder sweetly. I love you too, Mel. I love you too.